hurt. My mind is squirt, some rhyme work that'll make your sinus hurt. Buckle your seat while the pilot work. My spacecraft got enough gas that'll take you out of this earth. I'm magic with the pen and paper like a warlock. The window panes wide open, but the door's locked. So you looking through the window for it in your window, but do they really have the skill to analyze the symbol? Crescendo, the ashes blow when the wind blow. The rain put out the fire while the children build a temple. Just like the pyramids, walls are scribble. A projection in the sky of the messiahs on your mental. Monumental and extraterrestrial. Turning these niggas into mental vegetables. It's kinda crazy how I ride on instrumentals as I slice like a Ginsu with the vibe I put in. You listen. This is not a double life. It's just a new beginning. The magic is to focus on our goals till we're winning. I'd rather have a portrait of myself up on the ceiling. I could lay down on the floor, look up and visualize the millions. Imagine that. Do you see the picture clearly? Focusing on working with me. You could get this money with me. We could take over the world and put the trophies in the city, the plaques on the wall, and have a feast of who was with me. Yeah, last week was just the past, right? A new beginning. I've been up for all these past nights, and all these people that I knew just seem to pass by. They stuck on stupid worry about their past lives. And I just ask why. Are they agents? Is the system about to crash? Am I the one like in the Matrix? Is the planets in the heavens? Then the earth is just a spaceship. Our thoughts control reality and life is what you make it.
You tore me apart, Ronnie. Mommy? You came out of me and ripped me right open. Why'd you do it? All I wanted was to hold my baby. And you killed me. Like you killed those kids. Like you're gonna kill your father. They'll come for him. They'll take him away.
Yo, what's going on out there, everybody? Yes, we are in the building tonight, live streaming it as usual. I wish I could have went live on Halloween. I planned to, but I couldn't pull it off. I had some work to do. Had some work to finish up, and I had to do it. They kind of threw the curveball in there with dropping the second episode on Halloween. It was a dope thing. It was beautiful that they did it that way. You know, are you guys hearing me well? Am I being heard well? You know what I'm saying? Let me Yo, this episode was the crazy. That scene right there was the craziest thing that I heard, that I had seen ever in TV. And I'm not just talking about how vivid it was as far as what was going on. I'm also talking about the symbology in that scene. What a hell of a way to tell us a backstory on a character, first of all. Like, they could have told us that Ronnie's mom wasn't in the picture and what happened, but no, they let Ronnie's mom tell us. It was crazy. It was crazy. And then to, you know, have given us what's her name? Lily's father's, her backstory with her father
They told us that, and like her with the flashback and her actually telling you. And then they gave us a crazy scene with her father. I think that was A1 writing right there. First of all, brilliant writing. But also the writing behind the father and what's going on with him. And him being the light bearer. Okay? He's the light bearer. He works in the projection booth. The symbology behind that is crazy. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some of the other stuff. But before we do, we're going to go into the comment section and see who is here with us. Oh, okay. We got Debbie was here early. Debbie, Yebby, Bo Bebby, Banana Fana, Fo Febby to the B5, Mo Mebby. Debbie is here with us. She's rocking. We got Sunshine Chick in the building. Welcome. Good to have you. We have the beautiful, wonderful Joy in the building with us. Along with the beautiful, wonderful Saggy Star is here with us. Okay. Doc Kaiju is in the building. What's going on? How are you? Good to see you. Oh my goodness. We got Taylor the Clue in the building. Yes, indeed. Taylor Healing TV is in the building. Go check her channel out. She's got some fire and some heat. She said, yo, is this you? Yeah, that was me in the music. The music, that was me. You know what I'm saying? I do a little something here and there, you know. The pen game is fire. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we might even outro that rap again. I don't know, maybe. Got Jess in the building. What's going on, Jess? Finally, I'm a midnight worker. I usually asleep when the live stream start. Not this time. Let's look. Good to have you. Yes, indeed. Who else we got here? We got K2 Hot Hoop in the building. What's going on, K2 Hoop? Okay. We got Jen the teacher. What's going on, Jen? How you been? Good to see you again. We got Beers 87. He's gonna fry. Oh, yo. That's the beef jerky scene. Like, the scene is so crazy. I mean, you go and you lay in the bed and you you pull the sheets over your head. She's pouting, and next thing you know, there's a heartbeat coming from the mattress and she's stuck in there. Then she literally claws her way out. Some like demonic cesarean type shit, yo. Then what killed me was the headboard turning into her arms like that and reaching out. That was, whoa. When that happened, when I first saw that, I about fell out my seat, y'all. Real shit. Who else is in the building with it? We got CQ Winton in the building. What's going on, Chim? I see you there. Who else is here? Okay, we got Retro Sheller is in the building. Good to see everybody here with us. Who else? Who else? Did I hit everybody? We got Suzanne in the building. We got East Based is up in here. Mimi is in the building with us. Sip, Trip, and Repeat is in the building with us. Okay. Terzenda is in the building. Terzenda, I hope I said that right. You knew I was good, but not that good. Yo, I got some heat over here. I'm not even gonna hold you. And the beats that I play, I made those beats. Like when you hear my beats, like that's me. That's what I make. Whether it's one of the African Afrobeat type of beats, whether it's a hip hop, like real purist hip hop type tracks, trap music, like R&B, country joints. If you hear that, like I do score music for a couple of projects out there. Yeah, I get my work in on that. I love music. That's like my first love, for real. Grew up around musicians, family full of musicians. You know what I'm saying? Oh, but as you know, and Tata. vagina dentata. Yo, that was that whole situation was crazy. When she said come to mommy, hold on, I gotta play that.
Come to mommy.
Yo, tell me the belly didn't look like the plant from Little Shop of Horror. Like, that was a scary fucking scene, y'all. Like, it was straight out of, like, it was Freddy Krueger to come to mommy. And then there's a part where Ronnie bites the umbilical cord. Yo, yo, props to her acting in that scene. Because how do you act that? How do you act that? She's like, okay, well, you know, and how did they shoot that? How the fuck did they shoot the water filling up and everything like that? There was a lot to that. You know what I'm saying? I'd have to get with like a couple of VX people, some CG people, and some sick motherfuckers to write a scene like that, to just pull some shit like that off. That scene is crazy. Like, that scene is definitely top tier horror. And I think it's probably the scariest TV scene we've saw. Like, American Horror Story had some shit in it. I'm not gonna lie. American Horror Story was going nuts. But I don't think they hit no shit like that. I don't think they hit that note. You know what I'm saying? You know, Ronnie was going through it in this episode. Yeah, she went through a lot in this episode. Her father getting bagged up for some shit she know for a fact that he didn't do. You know what I mean? Taylor says, I think Stephen King is trying to stop people from making more babies. That scene out, yo, listen, that right there, if that definitely is teenage pregnancy prevention right there. Like, that shit right there was next level scary. It was so thought out. Like, we're going to have her inside of the amniotic fluid when the sheet wouldn't come off. That shit was scary enough when the sheets was still white, that she couldn't get out of there. And then it started turning into a placenta, and I said, no, they're not. No, they're not about to do what I think they're about to do. And then you see the juices coming off the ceiling, and it's like, oh no, they're not about to do this. And then it fills up with blood. Oh my God, they did this. But then when she clawed her way out, I thought it was over. I was like, oh my God, that was crazy. That shit was crazy. She turns around and the mom's head pops out the pillow and all of that. It just kept going. It just kept going. Then the arms morphing from the headboard. Then her saying, come to mommy. First she turned into a piece of beef jerky. Then she said, come to mommy. That was a Freddy Krueger line. Afterwards, she said, look at the mess you made. That was some Freddy Krueger shit right there. You know, Pennywise is on some whole other shit. You know what I'm saying? Yo, young Wingstop had nothing on that scene. The young Wingstop scenes are crazy. But that one right there was probably, I think that might be the sickest scene we get out of it. How do you top that? How do you top that scene? That scene was crazy. I'm glad it's on HBO and not network television. Yes, because HBO is gonna definitely go there without no boundaries. Saji said they showed me behind the scenes after the episode. They showed the behind the scenes after the episode. They had to put a sheet over the bed. Like, how did they get it to fill up with water? How did they, what the, you know what I'm saying? Like, was she actually in something? Then her clawing out of there. It was definitely top tier horror. You know what I mean? Debbie said, speaking of AHS, Did we all see Ryan Murphy's announcement? Age has 13, returning for Halloween 2026. Jessica Lange is back. Back. Okay. That's gonna be crazy. That's gonna be. You know what? I loved American Horror Story, but then at a certain point they began to lose me. Let's pull up a little something to not make the screen perform real quick. Let's do that. Oh, this right here. Yeah, I'm gonna pull this. This is top tier shit. They definitely need to come with the awards this year. Next year, I should say. Come with the awards. Don't play. This scene right here definitely is top tier. I don't know what the fuck. Who thought about it? How are we gonna execute it? Like, who's the who on this one? You know what I mean? Kamei. Yo, you got me on this. Camila Law. Okay. I'm currently listening to the audiobook of it. It's so good. Yes, it is. The audiobook is awesome. The novel is awesome. It just ripening the fruit before picking. Yes. Now, we're going to talk about that. We're going to definitely talk about a couple of scenes I found interesting in here. What else we got? Who's that? Who else is in here? Chim said, wouldn't it have been crazy if Ronnie died and there was just blood left over and her dad would have been on the hook for that death too? Oh my goodness. Yo, that's crazy. That right there would have been crazy. And you know what? I thought she was gonna die. I thought something was gonna happen to her, like when I first seen it, but then I had to think, like, nah, they've shown scenes after this in the trailers and stuff, like she gets through this. You know what I mean? When the John got up and was twisting the body and ran over to her, I thought she was at least gonna like arm her or something. You know, it would be crazy. I don't think we've ever seen like it arm somebody and they get away. Like if he got you, he's gonna get you. There's definitely a theory out there that children like the Losers Club were able to shine, and it's harder for him to kill children that have the shining ability. But he still tries to scare them to the point where he can kill them. And you know, he was successful with two of them. You know, the one killed himself before he could reunite with the others, and then the other one got killed at the end. But yeah, that would have been crazy if her dad would have been put on the hook for that. You know what I'm saying? Christine Jelly Bean is in the building. I want a backstory scene of the ritual of Chud that locked Pennywise up. Yes, that's the type of shit I'm talking about. We need that. They gave us a little bit of that in the 2019 film where they had Mike Hanlon, you know, giving a flashback of when he went to meet the natives. And we do know that it's kind of weird, actually. It's like they're eating some turtle. Like, I know they fed him some turtle. I know that's a part of it. But when he did the ritual with the Losers Club, like, none of that was involved. There was no spirit walking, no smoke. None of that was involved. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, here's another thing, right? You have the military presence in 1962. So we saw what happened in 1962. You get 27 years later, you get the Losers Club. You got to ask yourself, why is there no military presence in there? You know, did the military just say, fuck it, we not coming back? Do they fight with this thing and it beats their ass to the point to where they's like, yo, we can't do nothing about this thing? You know what I'm saying? What goes on? something that I really liked about this episode is it shows us Mike Hanlon's. I think Ronnie and Will are his parents. I'm totally speculating, but I mean, I think those are his parents, and we know what happens to his parents. His parents are killed in a fire, so we know that. So we kind of know if Ronnie and Will are his parents, which I'm thinking they are. We know how they died, and so we know they make it out of it. But here's the thing to that, right? Mike Hanlon himself in the movies seemed to be doing a lot of investigating and finding out things on his own. There were a few things that were told to him when he was a child, but for the most part, he found out most of that shit on his own. Okay, so that would mean that his parents probably never had the chance to actually break it down to him about it and what was going on. You see what I'm saying? Okay, yo, Food Pyramid. I said that in my video. I don't know if y'all saw my video. Give me a 1 in the chat if you saw my video for episode 2. And give me a 2. Matter of fact, give me a 2 if you didn't see it. Give me a 1 if you saw it. I don't know what's going on with my videos lately, but they start off okay, and then they just fall off. I don't know what's going on. Like, I had a setting on my channel. Okay, so y'all mostly saw it. Lydia didn't see it. Okay. I don't know if I'm getting the notifications are going out or what's going on with my channel, but it's all good. Like, I'm gonna keep dropping heat, and I'm dropping it for those who see it. So it's all good. We still gonna be cooking. Okay. Daniel didn't see it. Okay. Got a lot of people that saw it. You know. But yeah, the video is heat. One thing, all right, so I want to address something real quick. You know, about the eggs in the bars. I'm getting comments from people saying, yo, man, back in the day, they used to have deviled eggs and shit in the bars. Like me, I was never really in the bars like that. Not growing up as a child. I never seen it. Now, I used to see the deviled eggs and pickled pig's feet and the pickled eggs and all that shit in the corner store. You know what I'm saying? With the little Swedish fish, and you know what I'm saying? Like, you had the whole little hookup in the corner store. You know what I mean? With pickled eggs and what I hated the corner store pickled eggs. Nothing like my grandmother's pickled eggs. First of all, the water was pink. Them shits was pink. My grandmother's pickled eggs was red. Them shits had beets and onions in it. They were just so good. Good pickled eggs. The pickled eggs from the store was nasty as shit, right? To me, that's my opinion. And they taste like straight vinegar. It tastes like they didn't have no beet juice in them shit. What was this pink stuff in that shit? I didn't like that. Put a 1 in the chat if you fucked with the pickle store, the corner store pickled egg. I hated them shit. Put a 2 if you hated them. I couldn't. I ate one time, never ate one again. Hated them shit. Yo, we got 56 people in the building. Hold on, let me drop some. Let me show some love in the chat. I don't know who these is gonna go to, but I'm gonna just go ahead and do it. And if you got one, you're welcome. You know what I'm saying? Membership. Have fun with the emojis down there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I wasn't fucking with them. But my point about that was this. Okay, it wasn't about the eggs were in the bars or not, right? It was about a half-eaten egg. So, all right, let me give a little backstory. Oh, yes, indeed. You're welcome. You got one of those. You're welcome. Let me give a backstory real quick. Yes, that family in the front definitely looked like young Wingstop. We're gonna get to that. But let me let me give a little backstory. So I don't know if you know about this. You're welcome for the membership, everybody that got one. So I don't know if anybody knew, about this. It's a show out there called The Chair Company, right? And it's about this dude, a character named Will, who he's like a project manager for a construction firm building a mall. And he has to go make a speech. Now, I'm telling you the synopsis. It's not going to be any spoilers. You can go check the show out. It just came out like a week before it came out, or a week before Welcome to Derry came out. They're on like the 3rd episode. It's a really funny show. It's a good show. And if you like conspiracy type shit, go check it out. But it's also on HBO. So if you went ahead and bought the subscription for Welcome to Derry, go ahead and get your money's worth. Here's another good one for you. It's called The Chair Company. And it's about a dude who's like a project manager for a construction project for a mall. And he has to go make a speech. So he's worried about his speech. And he nails the speech. But then when he goes to sit down, he falls, the chair breaks, and he busts his ass, right? And it embarrasses him. Everybody starts laughing and shit. And like people, his colleagues are making jokes and whatnot or whatever. But he falls in the chair. And I noticed that the character Will in it also falls in the chair. Like when he goes to the classroom, his chair gets kicked from under him. Well, when what's his name? Chief Bowers, the cop, was sitting at the bar, the commissioner picks up an egg out of his plate and bites the egg in half and throws it back in the plate. I made a statement that long as I've been living, I never seen eggs at the bar. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was just the statement. But scratch the statement, fuck the statement. Okay, so when in the chair company, the same character that falls in the chair, his name is Will as well. And he takes his family to dinner and he makes a big to-do about a half-eaten egg on his plate. And the people keep trying to take the egg away. He's like, no, leave my egg. I'm going to eat that. You know what I'm saying? So they put emphasis on the egg. So you got a half-eaten egg in both shows. And in both shows, you got a character named Will that falls in the chair. But here's the thing. When Will takes his family out to dinner that night, his daughter is the same girl that plays Beverly, the young version of Beverly from the Losers Club in the It movie. So I just thought the connection was crazy. I'm glad we got somebody like Taylor in the building who could hear me on that. And she'll probably some connections probably flew to her right off the top of the head when I said it. As a matter of fact, Taylor, would you like to come up? I'll drop the link for me. Let me know if you want to come up and rock. Anybody else that wants to come and rock too. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. That thread is like crazy. Like, hold on. We got K2 said, yeah, she's gonna check it out. Same writers? Is that a fact? I don't know, maybe. The egg symbolism is all over the place on this joint for sure. And even when Charlotte is walking down the block, the dude throws the egg at the Paul Bunyan symbol. You know what I'm saying? There's eggs in the trailer thing. Hold on, where is it at? Okay, hold up. There go an egg right there. There's an Easter egg. Hold on. Damn, am I sharing this? Okay, here we go. Thought it was up. There's an egg right here. The Easter egg right there. There was Easter eggs in the movie too. In the movie, there was burning Easter eggs. Hold on, let me see something else that I thought about. What other shots are there? Okay, so here, this family right here Is this the like when I first saw this, I thought about the young Wingstop family. You know what I mean? Because this mother is pregnant, right? Is she not got her hand on her stomach? She got her hand on her stomach right there. She looks pregnant. You got the little boy. He got the same haircut as the little boy that was, you know what I'm saying? And then they have an older girl, an older female child. You know what I mean? So what's that about? And that's the well house. That's the well house. So is that those people? Is that who that is? You dig what I'm saying? I want to ask you guys about something else here. Yo, as far as intros go, title intros, top tier. This one is top tier. Lots of dope symbolism in it. Lots of lore within it. You know what I'm saying? This is top tier. Definitely top tier. This was the illest scene right here. I love this shot. Also how it shows Pennywise hanging from the like he really jumped the shit off or something. Or which one did he? Okay, so I think it's obvious to say that Pennywise hyped up the mob mentality that it took for townspeople to get busy and go at some bank robbery. Like the town came out straight tripping. The town is set tripping. We got Annie Oakley over here. She's over here with the sniper vibes. Somebody came to the party with 2 pistols in each hand, with a pistol in each hand. Yo, these fools didn't have a chance. I hope we get to see that shootout. If we want some action, I mean, in the Muschettis, you already know they get busy with action. I mean, he did the Flash movie. That was crazy. So the only thing I didn't like was how dude was running. That shit looked corny as shit. But she's getting busy. Old girl is getting busy over there. They pulled the ladies out to get busy on this. They had ladies. Did you know, fun fact, that women are better marksmen than men? Like, I don't know. I guess they got the ability to aim better. I don't know what that's about, but maybe the eyesight is better, in most women or whatever. But that's crazy. Get them women shooters out there. This dude right here brings up the candlestick. So that's why I talked about the candlestick. Whenever they bring up certain things in a show, it's not random. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. I don't know if I have enough insight, but I can. Okay, hold on. Get out of here. Come on. Who's coming up? Y'all feel free to come up. Be patient. I'll get to everybody. If we get a long line of people, that's cool. Pennywise projections remind me of the Upside Down in the Cold War experiment. Indeed, yes. This thing is taking place during the Cuban Missile Crisis in 62. You know what I'm saying? 41 likes, 62 watching. Okay, yeah, go ahead, hop in there. Hit that like on the way in. I know sometimes people forget. You know what I mean? Let's see. That pick is wild. Okay. Derry stay strapped. Yo, I'm telling you, I love that shot. I think that's one of the dopest shots out of the trailer sequence. Like, yo, it gave me some comic book vibes almost. I know they were doing that 1950s type of art style, like that you would see in like a J.C. Penney's catalog or something like that. Nah, yo, this right here gave me straight up DC Comics vibes or something right here. Even look at his hand right here. You see the dots right there? That's that classic comic book vibe right there. This was the best shot in the trailer sequence. I love how it was zooming out and going to different aspects of the lore. Juniper Hill is one of the. This was a crazy shot too. Everybody got their mouth open, but it's only one that's scared. These two they smiling. Yo, what the fuck is going on at Juniper Hill? Like, I know that this was the and yo, people, this was the natural practice back then. Like, this was the natural practice that most physicians, so-called physicians or practitioners, would partake in when it came to children. You know, hold on one moment here. Taylor's in the building. How you doing?
Hey, what's up?
Oh, we here talking about this show, The Crazy Scene. What are your thoughts so far about what we've covered tonight?
I have seen quite a lot from the show just from watching, but what I will say is I think it's forcing people to pay attention and wait for what's going to happen next, as they do in horror movies. But there's so much CGI, like it's so much more in detail than I remember the old movies as. So it's definitely making you have like a bit of an adrenaline rush, but also has you looking for the clues to see what he will include and what he won't include in the next part.
Yes. The storytelling is amazing. They have had a very easy time making you care about these characters. The storytelling is great. Like, think about it. The very first episode, we're only 2 episodes in, and every character is pinnacle. You look at Ronnie, we got introduced to her in the first for the first half, they didn't even show her. They showed her right at the very beginning, but we didn't hear her talk. She didn't have a line or anything. They spent that time making us care about the characters that they eliminated at the end of that episode. And you actually kind of cared about these characters. These characters were funny to me. I like the dynamic of the conspiracy theory young bull and his more practical friend, the Jewish kid, Teddy Theodore. I like how they had that dynamic, and they showed us them on their own doing their own thing. Like, they gave us the Phil on the ledge with the telescope spying on the military. That is what he was on. They showed us Theodore in his room reading the comics. They showed his father pick up the comic, but they showed us them together as well. Then they brought his little innocent sister in the fold and showed us the dynamic with the sister, like, to where you kind of cared about her too. And boom, they just took them off the board. That was a bold move. That's bold and like in your face. Second episode, they're introducing you to the Ronnie's family and the grandmother. They showed the father at the beginning, but now we're getting to see him talk. We're getting to hear him. We're caring about what's going on with him. We know that he didn't do what they're saying that he did. And we see him getting locked up for this. This is crazy. The situation with Ronnie, now you care about her even more. They gave us the backstory on Lily's pops, but now they're bringing some substance with showing his body parts in a pickle jar. Like what? Like that, we haven't even talked about that scene yet. But I called you up here specifically because I wanted your thoughts on the interconnection of those two shows. The Will falling out the chair, the daughter playing Beverly in It, and also the half-eaten egg.
The daughter playing Beverly, that one had me in a little bit of a reel, because while I'm watching, I feel like when we see characters reappear and we're connecting them like between different timelines, it's easy to guess, because I've seen that theory. I even saw that theory on TikTok. But now that I'm looking back on it, I'm thinking you might be right. Also with the connection between both shows, I don't know. It's so hard for me to tell because his universe is so multi-layered.
Now, I'm not saying that their universe is actually connected, right? I'm talking about how the hidden hand weaves its way in and out of different shows throughout Hollywood, dropping all of the same symbolism to cast a universal spell collectively. Like, okay, so if we're casting this spell, Welcome to Derry is very different from a show like The Chair Company. So you got two different kinds of fan bases, right? But it's obvious that certain aspects of a spell is being cast in both of them. And so, like, I wanted to know, like, what you thought about, what were your thoughts on how this connects? You see what I'm saying? Also, we're going to
Oh
go to something that
yeah.
you've been talking about a lot too. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, definitely. You can always tell through like the casting too. Like, you know me, I'm looking to like the numerology, I'm looking into the gematria to find those connections. But I definitely do believe Hollywood does have a way of doing they're retelling the same stories ultimately. And it's about paying attention to the defining archetypes of the characters that usually come back up. And also like the same way you've described Pennywise, it's also the projection like through the indigenous culture, but seeing through the eyes of media, people are also perceiving it a lot differently too. So I always agree that they're weaving these stories as a way to like reach people the same way that the people of the town of Derry are kind of like in this liminal space, like they're zoned out. There are also people who are watching the show kind of zoned out too. So obviously you have a very wakened audience, so they know what's going on. But yeah, it's happening for sure.
Yo, I have the dopest audience on the planet. Like, word up. Like, anybody that is willing to pull the veil back and view these television shows and movies in another way other than what's being presented on the screen and take a step deeper, like, that's a dope group of people. Like, shout out to everybody for that. But so, okay, I wanna ask your question. I said something in my video about the lobotomy. Like, look, you see the frontal lobe lobotomy that they perform on the children at Juniper Hill, and they perform on the adults as well, right? Um, I think I saw Christine Jellybean up in there said that looks like Lily. It does kind of look like Lily when you think about it. Like, her hair could be pulled back, like, but yeah, it definitely does look like her for sure. But I made a point to say that the lobotomy is symbolic in a way to what Pennywise does to the adults of the town and why they seem to be so desensitized or they forget. I'm sure he's terrorized other children that have grown up in Derry, and it just seems like the adults don't really care about what's going on in that respect. What do you think about that lobotomy being a metaphor for what he does to the adults in the town?
Well, the eyes are the windows to the soul, so automatically, if you're trying to induce fear, it's through their vision. And the scene that you described with Charlotte, even where the boys are beating up the younger boy, and she runs over and looks at the other adults in the crowd, that desensitization, just viewership of emotion, heightened emotion, is either turned off completely on people or on all the way. So performing a lobotomy, first of all, like we know the history behind that, but shutting someone's vision, their sight, their connection to emotion or a light spectrum is completely shut off. Which the even the cinematography, like with the colors, if you've like even looked at the poster for Welcome to Derry, like how they kind of it looks kind of like Stranger Things a little bit. Like they have an inverted part of the poster that's upside down. The colors are bright, but they focus primarily on that red. And that red is connected
Hmm.
to the root chakra, so inducing that fear, that lower state of consciousness.
Yes, yes. Uh, are the adults scared? They don't seem to be scared of the things going on. Like, even this scene right here, I mean, they looking at her like she's crazy. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure a lot of people would attribute this to like some sort of racism going on, but I would never want to blame racism on Pennywise's effects. I think the two are totally separate. Like, let's not give them an excuse for the racism in this town. It's obvious. But it's a time period piece. So that is to be expected, right? It's a time period piece, so that's to be expected. We're talking about 1962. You know, you had a lot of racial tension going on. And that's to be expected in these kind of time period pieces. But this looks like, you know, and look at how she's looking at them like, what the hell is going on with these people? Like, nobody's looking at this. This is terrifying because
What? Oh wow, I see. What if they can't see at all? Like, what if they just can't see it? Like, it's very possible it messes with their ability to see. Like, if we're not just chalking it up to racism, maybe they literally cannot see what's going on, and they're just looking at her like she's hooting and hollering the whole time. She's watching violence happen in front of her.
yeah. Did you hear the dogs?
Yeah, I did. That was interesting.
And then you have the dog at the beginning. This looks like a police dog. Then her husband kind of alluded that she was some sort of activist in their town. You know, he talked about her. He talked about a brick being thrown through their window. I don't know if that was, did he say car window, or I don't know if it was the house or the car, but somebody threw a brick through the window.
You know, I'm always thinking in terms of analogy. As soon as you said brick through the window, and I was thinking about what you said about the Maguses rewriting like through structured law. Brick through the window made me think of like bricks currency through the
Ooh,
eyesight, like people not realizing what's happening around them with the financial system, the violence going on in the world, being desensitized through the screen.
ooh, yeah, that's heavy. We should definitely get into some of that. Did you notice any of those kind of notes and scenes or symbols in the show? Like any of those Neuralink, you know, Neuralink stuff, or like, did you notice anything on your level of esoteric knowledge on what you speak about in the show? What did you see?
Not with the Neuralink yet. I connected with a lot of the symbolism that you showed, though. Do you have any images? Because it'll bring it back to mind if I see a couple.
Okay. Let's you okay, this was a jam-packed scene. My next video talks a lot about this. This scene is jam-packed. The scene that went down at the Falcon Tavern. The Falcon Tavern, okay?
Oh, there
So,
you go, right there.
yeah, you got some symbolism right there. So I thought this scene was very interesting. It shows the commissioner. He's in there, and to me, it seems like he was waiting on the police chief to come up in there. It's like he knows the police chief comes in here and has his beer or whatever, and I'm gonna meet him here and tell him to go arrest Hank Grogan. So okay, but the military guys are sitting here, and what they're talking about is very interesting. What they end off with is very interesting as well. Um, okay, so we know that Dick Halloran has the shining abilities, right? And there's the one thing that he brought up was going to drink moonshine. And the guy, which one was it? This one right here, the guy on the right, he's the one that ends up drunk when they go back to the base. He's the drunk. He ends up drunk, and he's got the moonshine, and the shine is right across the shoulder of Halloran. Okay,
Mhm.
so they're talking about shine as well. Then when you have the light bearer, right? The light bearer who is Hank Brogan, who's being the scapegoat for these children, right? The whole scapegoat scene is entangled with this scene here with them at the bar here. See, all this scene is all entangled together. You see, Hank Brogan is the light bearer, right? Who shines the light on the film. so that they can watch the moving pictures, right? So all of it is definitely symbolically connected, because even before Lily has her encounter with the it, she walks past the grand drapery, right? And if you know, I've talked about the great drapery symbolism and the tent symbolism, the Freemasonic drapes that we see in theaters, right? That those are drapes that represent the veil being pulled to the side for them to show you and initiate you into this, right? But not only that, she walks right past the film developing place as well, okay? And so once she walks past these two ritual places, okay, then she comes into the supermarket, and this dude right here this looks like the bro that plays Pennywise right here, but he was side-eyeing her the moment she walked in, and I thought this was one of Pennywise's forms just off the way he looked at her, and he was like staring at her and everything. But back to that right there. So we got the shining symbolism there. We also have the light bearer symbolism. Brother brings up shining, moonshine. He's the character that shines. Okay. Now, there's a little etymology that comes with this, and it's the a racist terminology for Black people was shine. They would say, "Come here, shine," and they were talking to the shoe shine boy, and then that term kind of morphed into them just calling Black men boys, right? And what it did was it showed like a social dominance over this person, because like I got him shining my shoes, which the shoe is in the lowest part of your foot, like on some kiss my foot type shit. You feel what I'm saying? Like socially. And you have this character, and now when you think about it, who were the first characters to shine in the Stephen King universe that we know of? It was Dick Halloran's grandmother, and then it was Dick Halloran, and then we know of little Danny Torrance, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody knows of anybody else that predates the Stephen King lore of shining. So it was Dick Halloran and his grandmother were the first shine, right? Now, this shine was being produced, no doubt, by the Black Spot. They didn't say where they were gonna go that night. He was like, let's just get out of here. Let's go drink some moonshine. You know, I know a spot where, you know, we can get drunk at and have a good time. Bro came back singing. Bro came back hollering and singing and he had a good time. So they went somewhere, most likely it was the Black Spot. And when you're talking about the development and the development of moonshine, like the development of the film, is alchemy, right? Because now you see what I'm saying? You're distilling it, you're going through an alchemical process, right?
Fermentation, yeah.
Right. Just the same way when you develop film, you're going through an alchemical process. You see what I'm saying? When you are projecting this on the screen, that's an alchemical process. All of these things are like, the alchemy is tied to the so-called Black people in the show. You dig what I'm saying? And like, I'm wondering if Stephen King meant to do this down the line, because I mean, for sure, he meant to add the alchemy of the Native Americans, because the whole It lore is based on Turtle Island and the grandmother spider deity. It's the whole lore is based on that. So I'm wondering,
I got something too on that.
Go for it. Let me hear it.
Well, I was gonna say even moon shining, and we're talking about the military, so lunar abilities or the moon is the subconscious mind. So being able to shine is seeing in this unseen void. So I'm not surprised by that. Also, the woman, I don't know the actress's name that plays the grandmother, was also in another horror type show. It was called Sabrina Chaos. It was based on the teenage witch Sabrina Spellman, but it's actually from the original comics. And she's in there, but I noticed she was there because it's always about black people specifically being related to like the cunning, which was like the gift to be able to see through the third eye. So seeing those lunar abilities, because these are things that are also studied through the military, through Stargate projects. Like I think Project Stargate was one that was an original military operation, does the same thing. Like you can see in the unseen. So that's probably a huge part of why certain characters have been brought back or amplified within this season.
Yeah, you know, and then you also have just the alchemy that they're doing. Also, let me point out this picture as well, real quick. Um, and this is also an alchemical process as well that was displayed. The book on the boy's head. When have you ever seen somebody take a book to measure somebody? I've never
Never.
seen nobody do that, yo. So this was a deliberate gesture. Okay. And I talked about it, how in the priesthood, in even the old original Christian priesthood, where they would ordain the next speaker, they would put the scripts on his head. I showed the picture in my video of them doing this, and where they put the word on the man's head to initiate him. This was an initiation ritual. This was the directors telling her, put the book on his head. You never saw nobody do. And then what was crazy is, like, she does it, and during that part when she does it, she like puts it there and she grabs it with the other hand, and then she just takes the book off and just does it with the pencil by itself anyway. Like, she, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was just pointless for her to put the book up there.
I've told you my thoughts on Charlotte, at least the light thoughts on Charlotte, because I could go deep, but to keep it light, the word Charlotte means free man.
Nah. We're not gonna keep it light. We're gonna go for it. Let's we need to hear this. And they need to hear this. I've heard some of it. So drop it down. Drop it.
So, I mean, the name Charlotte means free man. So that alone, when you're using like the Masonic comparison to it, so we're talking about Freemasonry or free men, they are using the logo, so the written word, to initiate themselves into the knowledge. Even you're pointing out of the keystone, right? At the keystone of Royal Arch Masonry is the sign of a Cancer, which is a mother.
Absolutely.
So yeah, when I see that initiation, right, it's like she knows, but she doesn't know. I don't know. We don't know too much about Charlotte yet from what I can see. However, the fact that you pointed that out, I thought was pretty prevalent. For her to be initiating her son to when she heard the dogs, I also thought about the fact that dogs can hear specific frequencies that other people can't. And even in like mythology or lore, dogs were known as messengers. I think Saint Christopher, they were known as messiahs, or the dogs, because dogs are gods. So it's interesting that was a huge part of it. And then throwing in the whole activist thing, that it's a lot, it's layered, but I definitely see her as an initiator. And when you notice these little things in the show, you too become an initiate of these mysteries.
I mean, you could clearly hear the dogs in there, and then she called them dogs. As a matter of fact, she called them dogs while she was putting the book on his head. Is when she said the word dogs. They're dogs, and that's when she said that. And I mean, it was totally a deliberate choice to put the police dog, barking at the police. You know what I'm saying? We got a couple comments. We got Bev Billion said, usually the book was laid flat on top of the child's head. It was to draw a straight line. I mean, I've never seen that. I have seen instances where a book is placed upon someone's head to check their posture, right? And like some women and like the girls in what is it called, ladies class, what is it, they used to call it ladies class, but then they also had
Charm
it was like
school.
charm school, there it is. They would check their posture, and they would see if they could walk across the room with a book on their head and without it falling off. Now, I've seen that situation, you see what I'm saying, but I've never seen someone measure someone's height with that. I've either seen them just straight up take the pencil and put it on top of the head and mark behind the person's head. That's how I do my children's height. They all stand there. We do it every time, and then I mark it on the wall. I already have it where I have all the measurements, so I know exactly what it is. I already got the measurements on the wall, so boom, like that's what I do. But I've never seen anyone put a book on their head, because to me it kind of makes it problematic. If you put a book in the way, you're getting the child's height plus the book. So how is the book used to write the straight line? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Maybe you're drunk. Put the book against the wall and like mark it under the book. Maybe I don't know, because I've never seen nobody do that. But yeah, that's interesting. I feel like it was a deliberate, because then she didn't even use the book to mark the height. And look at the way she put it on his head. She put it on his head in a way that that's how they do it. They would open the book. And so she put the book in a way that it would be opened upon his head. So yeah, like, I don't know. This is a deliberate symbol right there. She also said the word dog in this moment right here. This very moment is when she said dog. And like you said, dogs is the anagram for God as well. But it seems like the characters are being introduced to us in a way that they are being told what role that they're going to play in the story. Like, for instance, Ronnie is in the process of solving a murder mystery. You see what I'm saying? She's literally in a murder mystery with her friend, or the girl that she took to the theater, trying to help find Maddie. I think that she was who let Maddie in there in the theater. She helped him hide, right? So she's wrapped up into this murder mystery. Her grandmother refers to her as Nora Charles, who's a fictional character from the Thin Man series that solved murder mysteries with her husband. So I think that we're getting like they're using the symbolism to tell the story as well, and to go along with telling you, like, okay, the light bearer is the sacrifice. The children were sacrificed. He's blamed for the sacrifice, so he's being sacrificed.
Pennywise also, just that name alone, copper, is associated with the planet Venus. So even though Pennywise is genderless, when we're talking about in terms of Venusian energy and copper, I wouldn't be surprised if that hermetic initiation came in. And then as well as the child too, that's like an innocent being initiated.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, you have the copper, right, when you're talking about Pennywise, and you also have silver has been used to fight Pennywise as well. What was it? The silver earrings that they hit it with in the head with the slingshot in the 1990s miniseries. They shot him with silver earrings. So you have the copper, silver. I'm looking for gold somewhere. I'm looking for diamonds somewhere. It's probably within the character names. It's probably hidden within the character names. Just like you have the free man is hidden within Charlotte's name. And we know that there's a difference between the free man and the freed man, right?
Oh, I just thought of something too, real quick. It'll be good because you're talking about masonry, and I was just talking about this today on my TikTok. One of the oldest Freemason lodges is in Ireland, and Derry is actually a place in Ireland. So that it's funny with all the Masonic symbolism and the talk of royalty as well.
Oh yes, there's lots of the Masonic symbolism is off the hinges in this. Like even at the play spot, at the secret hangout spot, they have a tent. They have a circus tent put up right behind the hammock. You see what I'm saying? And so there you have that overarching Masonic symbolism with the tent. The Freemason tent symbolism is the grand arch symbolism, because in the tents, the opening is just like the grand, not the grand arch, I meant the grand drapery. And so you see that symbolism there as well. Then Pennywise, you have the circus elements. You know, he's a circus clown. You have the what was it, the 1906 or the 1908 circus tragedy that happened, where that's the Robert Gray story. Do you know much about the Robert Gray symbolism?
No, I don't think so. Can you tell us about it?
Okay, so the Robert Gray symbolism is, I believe that Robert Gray is a form of it. Some people believe that Robert Gray was an actual human that, for some whatever reason, it chose to imitate and continue on with. But in the movie, the book is more clear about these things, but the movies has its own twist to it, that where they change things a little bit as far as Robert Gray is concerned, because the butcher's name was Kirsch, right? The butcher at the, hold on, where's the butcher at? Where's the butcher? Butcher right here. This guy, his name was Kirsch, okay? But Kirsch was in the movie as well. Kirsch was this little old lady right here. Where's she at? Got a picture. Her name was Kirsch, and she said that her father was in the circus, joined the circus. And this is where we get the pictures of Pennywise and whatnot. And this was in her house, right? We see Pennywise, the dance.
Why does he look like P.T. Barnum?
Word. You know why? Because this is that snake oil salesman period. This is totally, now we see this symbolism a lot in Severance. We saw this symbolism even in From. There was a one of Victor's sister's drawings was of a circus. Also, we seen the symbolism with Ellis when they made a place for Julie to sleep at. We saw the symbolism when Victor builds a tent in the basement with Sarah, and he holds his hand out just like a ringmaster would hold their hand out for her to get into the tent. Ellis does the same thing. I talk about this a little bit in my From videos and stuff. They've been clipping my From videos like rain. I don't know.
That hidden hand symbolism is crazy though.
Yeah, the hidden hand symbolism. Yes, he's doing the Masonic hand gesture right there. He's doing the Masonic hand gesture right by his timepiece. There's the chain for his timepiece. So he's doing the Masonic hand gesture right by the timepiece. He's wearing the stripes. Okay. He's wearing a striped suit. And it never really makes it clear in the movie if this little girl is Kirsch. And it never makes it clear if this little girl standing with him is his daughter or anything. It doesn't make that clear. It just has a picture of him. What it pretty much says is that this is her father. So this, I believe, would be her father. She said her father joined the circus and was a performer. So I'm thinking that it is this guy. But can we trust any of that? Because this little old lady is this little old lady. So this little old lady sitting there telling this shit is it. It's it telling you this. So is it true? And this was a scary ass part right here. Look at the mouth on her. Look at the mouth on her neck. Like, this was a scary ass scene.
The details.
Yeah, like this was crazy. And the little boy's eyes in the car were doing this as well. Some people think that the little boy is like a child version of Pennywise. I don't know, yo. Like that's crazy right there with
Like you
the
said, the circus is full of illusions. And when it just made me think of something when you were talking about lobotomies, under psychedelic experiences, there are like visions of fractals, and the way that they even repeat like different body parts in different places, creating this horror effect. It's because when the mind sees things like replicated around it, it can only perceive one thing at one time, right? Because you're only using your two eyes. You're not using that shining ability or that perception. So that would induce horror, I would guess. Like if you see all these crazy things and body parts everywhere, it would definitely spike your adrenaline, I would think, and it's bringing you like it's opening up that state of consciousness where you're easily preyed on. But if you're balanced, it won't do that to you. So the fact that, it impacts these children in different ways is interesting to say the least.
Yeah, your brain kind of deciphers what your eyes are seeing for you, like after you see it. We really have no idea how long that takes. In other words, like light bounces off of an object, it goes into your eyes, it flips upside down, takes it to your brain. Your brain tells you what you're looking at, and that's how you see. You see from what your brain tells you you're looking at. Like if there was if I had a language that no one knew, and I put a bunch of the whole entire alphabet on the wall, they would just look at it and think that it was some sort of decoration. They would think that it was some sort of art, but literally those are letters. But only a person that would know that deciphered code in their brain would be able to see the letters up there. You see what I'm saying? I remember I was in the car with my dad one time, and we were riding, and this car there was a house that was on a corner, but the corner was like a small hill that you had to go up to get to the house, and they had steps and whatnot that went up to the house. Well, a car must have been speeding down this road, and it jumped this hill and landed inside of these people's living room. Like, so half the ass end of the car was hanging out of the window, and the whole porch, the bricks on the porch, everything destroyed. And I saw it right away. And it must have just happened because there were only some people standing outside looking at it. There were no cop cars, there were no paramedics, nothing was there yet. We just got there like right after it happened. And I was telling my dad, I was like, oh shit, look. And he's looking, he could not see it. I said, you don't see that? He was like, no, what am I looking at? And I said, the car is inside of the house. And then all of a sudden he was able to see it. Like he could see it, but sometimes your brain won't allow you to see certain things that are right there in front of your face unless there is some sort of visual sensory or that has to take place in the mind before you actually see something. And that is what I think Pennywise is able to do. I think that these horror scenes that we're seeing and they're bearing witness are not just to scare us, but they're to give us a little bit of insight on what Pennywise's capabilities actually are. Like, what is Pennywise actually able to do? You know what I'm
Reflect
saying?
people's consciousness back to them, their deepest subconscious thoughts and their fears, and project them back, because when your eyes are open or you're drawing something in, it can probably mirror that effect like a jester or like a clown.
Indeed. Like, I think we always knew. I think it's been very clear before that Pennywise is able to go into your brain and analyze your thoughts and know about your fears. He knows your name. He knows everything about you. He knows your name is Georgie, and he knows that your brother just made this boat for you. And he knows that your brother is at home faking like he's sick so that he doesn't have to go outside with you. And he knows that he knew all of that. He knew everything.
So preying on guilt too.
Right. So we know that his abilities are that. But now we're getting to see that Pennywise can come into a movie theater and create some shit that is impossible. A giant Wingstop baby hopping out the screen like he's hopping out the grease and flying through and actually eating and killing the children. Yo, check this out. I thought that when that scene happened, I could not believe that they just killed the kids. I was like, nah. When it first started, I was like, this isn't, he's scaring the shit out of these kids. I didn't think that he would be able to kill them in that way. I didn't think that was a possibility, but now we know it is. Then we look at the Ronnie scene, fucking bananas. The scene in the car with the family. What did he do? Did he create the car, the family, everything? Did he create all of that?
Like, ooh, I got one thing for you on that. Just one, I promise. Before I go, I will say Hollywood is druidic magic. They're masters of the wands. Wands are considered to be air or communication, but we're talking about using wands like trees. And so your eye is like the tree of life. Hollywood has mastered the silver screen, the silver age. Silver is the element of 47 ruled by the moon or the subconscious mind. And so that's where it comes from. These movies are literally projections of the eyeball.
Right. The silver is the moon's light. The moon's shine. You see what I'm saying? That's what the silver is. The moon's light is silver. It's what are the other words for the moon's light? It's cold. The moon's light makes things colder. The sun's light makes things hotter. You see what I'm saying? Oh snap, we got Food Pyramid up in the building. I heard you say you was gonna go. You leaving us?
Yeah, I gotta put my babies to bed real quick.
Okay, no problem. I appreciate you for dropping through. I know everybody loved the build we just had for sure. You gotta stop by again. Don't be a stranger.
All right, thanks so much, C. See you guys later. Have a good night.
Peace. And Debbie Ebby Bo Bebby, hold on one second, Food Pyramid. And Debbie Ebby Bo Bebby says Mr. Gray is the entity that Duddits warns his friends of in the Dreamcatcher. And that's my number one most wanted connection in the Stephen King universe. Yes, indeed. Yo, Mr. Gray is it. We know that. But does anybody have any insight on if Mr. Gray was a documented human with the family, yada, yada, yada? Drop that in the chat and let me know. We bringing Food Pyramid up on the stage real quick. Food Pyramid, what's going on with you? How you?
Good. What's up?
Yo, I want to say this. Did you see your shout out in this episode?
Oh, dude, I'm like, I feel like, you know, that weird feeling where it's like you knew everything that was going to happen, but you didn't want to like say nothing or ruin the vibe for anybody. Like that's kind of how I feel.
No. So you didn't see it, did you?
Are you talking about like
I know there's got to be some people in the chat that know exactly what I'm talking about without knowing. See, when I watch these shows, I watch them with the magnifying glass. Now, when the teacher was in the room here, what she was teaching about the food pyramid, bro.
Dude, I didn't even see that. I missed that part.
Did nobody peeped that? Nobody saw that? Hold on, let me look and see if I can. Did anybody peep that? Am I bugging? On the blackboard, yeah, Debbie Ebby Bo Bebby said it. The food pyramid cameo. Yeah, bro, you were in the show this episode. The teacher was in there teaching about the 4 food groups in the food pyramid and shit. She had that up on the board. I thought for sure you caught that. Go ahead, man. What you talking about up in here today?
I don't know. We could go about so many things, but like, I guess like you were saying is like about Pennywise and his portal. I guess we can just keep moving on that idea.
Pennywise in the portal. Yo, okay, so right back to pretty much ending up where I was at with Taylor.
Yeah.
Okay. I
So it's
believe,
like,
I believe that these horror scenes are being used to kind of tell us what Pennywise's capabilities are and how far they stretch. Because
yeah,
something that they've made totally clear to us is you could bust Pennywise upside his head if you want to. You could totally bust him upside his head with shit. You know what I'm saying? They bust him upside his head in the miniseries. They bust him upside his head in the 2017 and the 2019 movie. So you
right.
could hurt dude. Like I wonder if Pennywise was out in the middle of the street, could you hit him with a car and fuck him up real quick? He has to, I don't even want to say his. Its forms have some sort of rules that it has to play by. What's your outlook on these horror scenes and how they're showing us where we're at with that?
Well, like I feel like we're getting that crank up, or we're getting he said he's doing his power slowly, and with the portals, it's like, so everything he shows you is kind of in a weird way. It's like it's make believe in your mind, but then it's not. It's real to reality because there's body parts that are happening. Like like she was holding a real hand at some point. She doesn't tell you what he did with it, right? But it's like, so he can affect reality to a degree, but then at the same time, he can also like bend time and space at the same moment. Like the moment Maddie walks through that like tunnel, he's basically walking into the portal or the realm
Yeah,
of
he walked
Pennywise
into
at that
something.
moment. You can
He
even
has
see
to have.
above that long tunnel deep in the far back, there's almost like 3 yellow signs, almost like his deadlights. There's so many times where in the episode where there's in the first episode where he shows himself, but in the second episode they made it more obvious with his eyes right there in the open.
Oh yeah, I love that you pointed that out. I pointed out the more esoteric vibes of that when I said that the one in the far back with the yellow signs on there
Yeah,
that's the grand archway with the keystone that he walked under as a portal. And you're pointing out the fact that those 3 signs on there are representative of the deadlights as well. I love that. And last time you were here,
I
you said
think.
something about episode 1 about how the deadlights were on her sweater in the flowers.
Yeah, I think that's what's crazy is I think he's always lingering, and now that he's kind of woken up after eating a couple of kids, he's like showing himself, right? He's gearing up to eventually reveal himself as a clown, but until he's like strong enough at the moment, because he's kind of like still in hibernation mode, the best that he can do is like worst nightmare scenarios for people, right? But I think at the same time, when we go back to like you're talking about the town and why everyone seems to just be so nonchalant about it, I think that's part of his powers too, right? Like he pretty much puts like a general malaise upon the town, and then so nobody's really interested in intervening, or it's not like they care. It's almost like he makes everybody numb.
Yes. That lobotomy symbolism is heavy in the townspeople. And I remember, just thinking about that. Like as soon as I seen that first trailer vibe come through with the lobotomy in there, I said, that's what Pennywise has done to the whole damn town. Like, because they don't even give a shit about anything going on when these kids are being tormented like this in this way. Ty Briggs is in the building. What's going on, Ty Briggs? I see a couple more people in the building. I'm about to shout out in a minute. But Ty Briggs says Derry is low key like Fromville, and you're right. You're right, Food Pyramid. When he walks through that underpass, and He walks past the deadlights and he walks through the grand arch. He gets transported to some sort of portal that is existential, but it's also in his mind as well, right? We saw this with Lily in the grocery store. Yes, there was some shit going on, but she fell on all of that glass and cut her fingers. She cut both of her hands when she fell on the glass, all those pickle jars on the floor. But when
Right.
she woke up, there was no blood between her fingers anymore. So the cut also went away. Now, see, why I'm pointing that out is because it seems like she was injured, but that injury did not transfer over to the real world when she was sitting there with, sometimes I get frustrated with some of the characters. They don't really think fast enough for me. I would have been like, hey, yo, there was some mice on there. The mice scared the shit out of me. There was some mice fucking on the shelf or something. I would have said something. I would have not let them. And then she ends up right back in Juniper Hill any damn way because of that. You know what I'm saying? So they wouldn't have believed what she said anyway. Ronnie is right for being angry with the girl for not saying what she saw, but the girl had every right not to, and her reasoning was understandable. But what Pennywise is creating is some sort of portal, because how in the hell did they ride past the exact perfect spot for that pacifier to fly out the window and into the sewer system? How are they driving straight the whole time and then they end up passing that DERRY sign again? You see what I'm saying? We saw that in From as well. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm with you on that. Big Heck is in the building. They're not even being racist. But what you talking about right there?
I believe he's talking about, like, how the town, wasn't even tripping about what he was doing. And I think that kind of goes to how a lot of shows I feel right now are kind of really showing, like, I really feel like where the world is at in a lot of ways, right? The whole art mimics life thing. There's just so much general tension in the world. Like, no one wants to help each other. And then, are you in this group? Are you in that group? And that's, I think, one thing that's really nice about the It series in general is showing how, like, eventually the loser club gets together and shows how differences can combine for a greater strength, as long as we don't let fear, separate us all.
Right. As long as we stick together on this shit and don't get afraid. And if one of us gets afraid, then your ass is meatloaf. And that's what happened to the one kid in the second movie, 2019 movie. That's how it was able to kill him. You see what I'm saying?
And these kids, unfortunately, right from episode 1, there's like constantly bickering between everybody. There's no agreement on things. And I was just like, from that moment, I knew half of these kids were going to be, clapped up pretty clear, fast. And then on top of it, you see just literally the dead effigy of the kid on his locker.
Okay, so Christine Jellybean says Pennywise is similar to the devil. He can be everywhere and nowhere, also comes in many faces and forms. Now, I want to ask you this. Do you guys think Pennywise could show up in more than one place at one time? Have we ever seen Pennywise show up in two places at once? Is anybody in the comments, if you know, let us know. Has Pennywise showed up in more than one place at a time? Like, think about it. Pennywise literally shows up at Juniper Hill Asylum to get Henry Bowers to get out and escape.
All while, like, other things are going down to the other characters, yeah.
But is that accurate? Was something going on with the other characters while that was going down?
I think so, because it feels like the whole idea is, like, they say half the town is Pennywise, so it feels like he can almost orchestrate many different strings at once. Like,
okay, so a lot of people believe the theory that DERRY is it, and that's why it can do these things within DERRY. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that Pennywise has showed up in two different places at once. I don't think so. And it seems like Pennywise will visit one person at a time. Like, you know,
Like he can only focus his attention to like one main matter at a time.
right. That's what it seems like. That's what it seems like. There are some kind of rules because, like I said, Pennywise can be hit with something.
Yeah.
Pennywise, they bust Pennywise's head wide open in this miniseries with a silver earring. Bust the head wide open. Pennywise, they were able to spray him with the asthma medicine, and it was battery acid to him. They used it as battery acid. Mind you, they had just all taken a puff of it, and he used it against them. Like, so there's some sort of rules going on. Either that or the children had shining abilities that were working on it as well.
I think you could definitely say that. I feel like a lot of the characters in Stephen King's works exhibit some element of shine, whether they, describe it as that in that story or not.
Well, I mean, Dick Halloran breaks down what shining abilities are in The Shining. And he told little Danny Torrance that everybody can do it. He was like, it's just some that don't know how to use it. I mean, there's some that know how to use it, and most people don't know how to use it. That was his explanation. That's what he said his grandmother told him.
Right.
So a lot of the theory is that trauma happening to these young kids opens up their shining abilities. Things happening to them. If you look at all of the Losers Club, they all had some sort of traumatic shit going on. Bill lost his little brother. You had Beverly going through what she was going through at the house. You had the one kid was being bullied. Mike Hanlon, the whole situation with his parents' death. Like, all of the kids had some shit going on that was tormenting them. And it's very connective that it feeds on the very thing that a lot of people speculate are the reason why the shining abilities come about. And that's their fears and trauma. You see what I'm saying? So,
right.
It is it connected to, is it, now I want to say this, is it responsible for what we see going on at the Overlook Hotel? Because when you watch The Shining, there was moving pictures in there, pictures moving around and all the same kind of shit. Same kind of hallucinations and visions were going on at the Overlook Hotel. You know what I mean? And then you have now I'm not going to say anything because that goes deeper into the season, because this was a theory of mine from a while back. I had to actually take this out of 2 scripts, so I'm not able to talk on that. But there's a theory that I had that kind of shows itself in, a theory that I had when I was writing my first video that shows itself in the series. And I believe that it is some sort of all right, now here's the discussion. Do you know much about like dimensions and stuff like that? Like,
I mean, I feel like I do. I feel like I'm pretty versed on the idea of dimensions, both scientific and esoteric,
Okay, cool. So how would you describe a 2-dimensional being?
You're saying like a 2-dimensional being is like something like on a flat piece of paper or whatever, if we're talking about reality stuff, but
right, exactly. Okay, so a 2-dimensional being would be like a being that can move right, left, up, down, but he can't come up or off the paper or any of that. Now, a 3-dimensional being would be whatever you see. Like my microphone sitting in front of me right now is a 3-dimensional object, right? So the 3rd dimension can observe things in the 2nd dimension. right? So where do you think we are as beings? Where do you think we are? Are we third dimensional beings?
Well, I believe a little bit in kind of abilities per se. So I would say sometimes our our minds can stretch beyond our three-dimensional realm.
Okay. So can we observe the three-dimensional world?
Not in its entirety because we don't see everything in the full light spectrum.
So you
But
don't think that so you yeah, we observe the three-dimensional world. Like that's why you're able to grab things and pick it up.
well, I'm saying we observe it, but I'm saying we don't observe everything truly because like you mentioned before, like the way we perceive things is basically to keep us safe, right? Like our brain just interprets things to keep us safe.
Mhm.
So we only take in like very little much information that we could actually possibly take in.
I believe that we are actually fourth dimensional beings. And I'll tell you why. Because we can observe the third dimensional world and we can pick it up. You can pick something up and put it inside of something, right? Like you can take a jar, you could take the lid off the jar, you could put something inside of the jar, and then you can
Hmm.
close the jar back up. That's something that you can do. And I believe that each dimension is able to observe the dimensions lower than it. And so if we're able to observe and interact with the third dimension, perhaps we're fourth dimensional. Now, a fifth dimensional being is something that we can observe. Now, the reason why we now can we observe the fourth dimension? No. Just like the little drawing on the paper, the two-dimensional character cannot observe the third dimension. So I believe that we are not we are what we can observe, and we are not what we can observe. So if that's the case and we can observe the third dimension, then we are fourth dimension. A
I
third
see what you're
dimension,
saying. Yeah, like the whole viewing from top down or whatever.
right? We're able to view from top down. If you now, if you're standing outside in your yard, of course you're not able to just view the top of your house. However,
Right. Yeah.
it is possible if you're lifted off the ground, which is that third dimensional plane itself, you're able to then see the top of your house. It could be by many different ways. You could be in an airplane, you could climb on a ladder, you could climb in a tree, you could be at a higher point on earth. You see what I'm saying? And you could be on a mountain looking down at the houses. So you definitely have observational value when it comes to the third dimension. So I believe that characters like it are fifth dimensional because just like I can take that character that's drawn on a piece of paper, he cannot observe the third dimension. However, he can observe what is in his dimension. He can interact with it. We see it in the old video games like Mario Brothers, Mortal Kombat, the old school shit. You see that same two-dimensional interaction. He can jump and land on the heads of those creatures and they flatten. He can jump and hit the thing and make coins pop out. You see what I'm saying? So he can
Right.
interact with that in that two-dimensional space. But he can't interact in the third dimension. He can't take in like you can see the pipe, but he can only jump over the pipe and go down into it. He can't climb around that shit. You know what I'm saying? He can't climb around and then you see the back of him. That doesn't happen, right? So it is able but however, I'm the one placing all of these two-dimensional things in his space. Or if I'm a 3D editor, I can edit 3D, right? Because we're four-dimensional. Now, it is able to add things to our space, just like I can draw another character on the piece of paper with the character that you drew, right? So it is able to add things into our fourth dimensional space
Hmm.
and make them a reality within that character's mind, right? And I think that it's only focused on certain points of time and certain because we've never seen it in two places than once. We haven't seen that. You see what I'm saying? I think it has to come to you. I think that it has to show the fuck up. You walk through one of those portals that it has, and it will show up. It can show up, whether it's in your bedroom, whether it's at the movie theater, whether it's at the grocery store, whether you're walking down the street. I can make a car come in your shit, pick you up, and take you from there. So, and obviously the space that he was in was controlled by it as well. We didn't see no other cars passing. You know what I mean? Dude was swerving up and down the road. Like, come on, bro. Like, I think that they're really trying to show us what its capabilities are and what it can do through these horror scenes. You see what I'm saying? Like, through these whole horror scenes. Because here's a question, right? Would Shorty have drowned inside of that stomach if she wouldn't have clawed out of there? Like, these are the questions.
I think there's a possibility, yeah. Like it's like you kind of said, it's kind of almost like a little bit of a Nightmare on Elm Street or something, you know, like when you're in that dream world, it's actually a new reality. So there is a chance to die, but because she also put the effort and didn't fully succumb to, you know, the deepest spirit, which was the blame of her mother's death or whatever, right? So there's a chance she could have died there, but you know, because she, like you said, because these kids might be able to shine, they also might be able to draw on that same piece of paper that, you know, he is now drawing on.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying about the battery acid. That's what I'm saying about why they was able to shoot him with the silver. Like, come on, yo, this thing is obviously superhuman, super strong, super this and super that. It could fly, it could float, it could do all types of shit. It could change shape, it could make things come into reality. You mean to tell me you're able to hit it with a silver earring and a slingshot? You're able to burn its face with your asthma medicine? That was placebo, by the way. Let's not forget that the medicine that the young boy was taking from the users clubs was a placebo. It was not even any chemicals in it. So what made it work on him? You see what I'm saying? So we definitely hitting on some, like, we're definitely getting answers with this show. Answers that people have been asking the questions to for a long time. Like, ever since 1990, it has lived rent-free in my mind, bro. Like, it has been one of the dopest. I've always thought it was one of the dopest horror pieces in the game. Definitely my favorite Stephen King work. Don't get me wrong. Before that, it was Firestarter. Firestarter is like the illest shit ever, especially if you was a kid that was growing up around the time when that shit came out. Like, never saw nothing like that. They never had nothing like nothing even close to it. But it is a whole nother thing. Like, where, you know, the lore is so rich. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm loving that they're, you know, using the Cold War and just general themes going on with that. It seems like such an amazing idea. Like, we're so boisterous, or not boisterous, I guess. We're almost like so full of ourselves as a entity of the United States that we think that we're gonna somehow be able to, like, take it and use his power. Like, it's gonna end badly.
Yeah, I like what Saggy Star just said here. She said what made it work is intentions, and that's what I'm talking about. They have some sort of abilities that if it gets to eat one of them, it's a really good meal for him. They're not the average meal. They're not the average scared, hyper, the adrenaline and all the cortisol and all the chemicals. They're not that. There's something else about them. We saw this in Dr. Sleep. And Doctor Sleep is definitely intertwined uh with with this lore here, especially when you have it being a part of the Shining universe with Dick Halloran, and now he's in this. He was in the book. He was mentioned in the book as a Navy cook. You see what I'm saying? But now this is I like the real intro to him giving us some words. Was him sitting in that bar during the same egg symbolism and during the scapegoat symbolism, and him mentioning the shining, the moonshine. I don't think a lot of people caught that. I don't think a lot of people realize how he's bringing up moonshine, and he's the guy with the shining abilities. And the moonshine is most likely tied directly to the black spot, which he was tied to that as well in the shining, like, or in the it lore. So I thought that was dope. I thought that, and knowing how they go with it is very interesting. And it's like, yo, these people, first of all, they really did their homework on the circa 1962 vibe. You know, they really did their homework on that. There's a few things. There's not even really any complaints I have so far. I don't really have too many complaints about the show. What are your complaints about the show? Do you think it's where we at with this show so far?
Maybe a little, like you guys said, a little tongue in cheek at times, like almost like a little too on point with the jokes. Like in the show, like when the characters are making jokes, I'm like, damn, is everyone a comedian? Yeah.
It's not really that bad. I mean, like, it was kind of like people talk to me.
Well, I mean, it's not like bad in the sense, but like, you know, I guess like it's not really a complaint for me, I guess, but I don't know. That's the only thing that I could really complain on, because I don't really have too much bad to say about it. I'm just enjoying the ride right now. It's like, it's so interesting to see how, you know, the tensions of the town are building up, and then they're going to lead to these events, and then what's going to happen in later seasons, because like the idea that we're getting 62 now, and then, you know, a older snapshot, it's going to be interesting, because I know tonally it's probably going to be quite different in the next one.
Yes. Touching a little back on what we were talking about before about the dimensional existence of humans. Ty Briggs asked if I've heard about something called the Great Year, which is a 24,000 year cycle to orbit elliptical the center of the galaxy. When we are closer to this energy, we are 4-dimensional, but when we are far, we are 3rd-dimensional. Now, I've definitely heard of the Great Year. Now, as far as the dimensions are concerned, it would be crazy for us not to be able to observe the 3rd dimension. I believe if you're a 3rd-dimensional being, you can't observe it in the way that a 4th-dimensional being does. If there are any brainiacs in the comments like that know about this stuff, feel free to come on up, or request to come on up and break down some science of this situation here. I love to hear about it, and I love to learn. You know what I'm saying?
I like when you're talking about the moonshine thing, because it did remind me of Dr. Sleep, in the sense like the time too when their shining abilities are the strongest are usually at night. Like, and that's kind of like what they say about the spiritual world in our world, right? Like things are like thinner at night.
Oh yes. And then you have the moonshine aspect, right? Is a spirit. Is a controlled alchemical spirit, is what moonshine is. You know, alcohol is spirits. And so they're talking some shit on this, bro. I'm telling you, wait till my next video. I did drop a lot of this information, but I put it together in a cleaner way. But yeah, this information that I'm dropping on here is going to be in my next video for episode 3.
I
Um,
just feel so bad for Ronnie and her dad, dude. He's getting done dirty.
oh yeah, yes. That that whole story and plot line is not over yet. Like, there's so much to that plot line that connects everything that you're gonna. It's the writing on this is top tier. I'm telling you, the writing on this and the way they put that together, and the way that he's the figurative sacrifice for that whole situation with the kids. He's the sacrifice. The kids were the sacrifice. It's a sacrifice for a sacrifice. That's totally what he's representing. He's the light bearer, okay, because he's the candlestick man. The candlestick man. The cop even said it in the car, the young cop, and he was making a joke. And this other cop right here told him, like, yo, man, show some respect. Little Philly something went to school with my kid. Right? He was talking about, like, show some respect, yada yada yada. But then he makes a joke anyway. But
Right, yeah.
what dude was saying is, he's like, are you sure this cat did this? There's no way that he did this. Okay. Ty Briggs said, no complaints, but a concern about just being vulgar without any purpose or creativity in it, like Gen V, which I love as well. But I expect that from Gen V. So far, they've been very creativity in their, very creative in their, and I guess Ty's looking up the rest of that statement. You know, that whole The Boys franchise is supposed to be like that, though. The Boys franchise is supposed to be super edgy in that way, I believe, in my opinion. You know, what's your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts? What was vulgar in the Welcome to Derry?
To me, more than words
The
is
birthing symbolism was crazy.
was that exactly the birthing symbolism that shocked me so much, in a way, like in a good way, because I was like not expecting to see that graphic of a scene to open up the thing, and then I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be a bumpy ride. There's no way this is not going to be any less than what we saw in the It movies. And then when the episode ended, I was, thoroughly enjoyed with what I saw, because
Okay, so all right, so I want to point out now, those are vulgar. There was something else that was vulgar too. Um, man, should we talk about that? Are we about to talk about this? Are we about to really go here, y'all? How long? How long? We've been rocking for almost 2 hours, yo. If we really about to go here, fuck it, let's go. All right, so the birthing vulgarity, right? Her pulling the panties to the side, young Wingstop. Like, they actually showed the coochie and everything. That was nuts, bro. I'm not gonna lie. That was nuts. They showed it in a way. Ty Briggs said HBO love. Yo, no shit though, for real, they do. But dig it, right? Okay, so here we go. That shit was wild, but they did it to show like the almond shaped Vesica Pisces shit. It was like a perfect like Vesica Pisces. I said, yo, this is wild.
I mean, it is a portal, right?
It is a portal, and that's exactly what the Vesica Pisces actually means in so much like artwork, even with Jesus and Mary inside of the Vesica Pisces. Like, but anyway, you have that aspect of it, and I can say this about it: it was crazy as hell. but it was very symbolic, right? Another thing that I found vulgar about that scene was the daughter and how she was like kind of letting old boy know that when we get to Portland, you can have your way. That was crazy to me. And the mom was even saying, we got to glue her legs shut. That was crazy to me. The father then turns around and says, she reminds me of her mother. And that's when I was like, they about to kill the hell out this little boy.
Right? Like, dude,
like, this is not a normal fucking family here.
the kid's spelling was the normalest one.
Right. And he was fucked up himself. Like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of there was so much that it was spelling that were clues as well. Like everything that he was even the word that made the girl snap out was trouble. And like that's what I saw somebody, I think it was Vic, somebody in there said that maybe last live stream that episode should have been called Trouble. Somebody said that in the live stream. Shout out to that person. But yeah, that episode should have had a name and it should have been Trouble, sure. But okay, so Ronnie's birthing symbolism scene. It was crazy, vulgar. It was out there. It was symbolic as well, very symbolic of, you know, I'm sure what Ronnie's birth was like, you know, the crude. If she had to have a cesarean to give birth to Ronnie, the chances of her dying back then were really high. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We saw the same symbolism on House of the Dragon. House of the Dragon did the same symbolism. The baby died, the mom dying at the childbirth. The baby ended up passing too on that. You know what I'm saying? Which I'm sure you could attribute baby Wingstop is like some sort of is that thing living? Like, what is that? I was very intrigued on how they knew that young Wingstop, she said, don't eat your family. How she knew what she just given birth to. How she know that? She got two regular looking kids in the back. Like, what was that about? I think that family is this family right here. Where is it? I think that is this family. I think this is young Wingstop's family. What do you guys think about that? What's your thoughts on that?
I'm absolutely in agreement with that. I feel like they're gonna have to give us another glimpse of this family or something. They have to tell us more backstory about this house.
Yeah, what in the fuck where did that family come from? Is it just like some random family that it decided to create just to get this kid, or like?
I'm thinking it's a legitimate family one time that lived there, and because
he probably killed all of them.
Because isn't there access to the well in the house? So that means like it was just a prime spot for it to basically set up shop.
Yeah, because this shot right here implies that someone lived in this house. The house is not downtrodden like it was before.
There's like sunflowers out.
Yeah, there's sunflowers out there. There's a dead tree there, but that's neither here nor there. I mean, the house is not in bad condition like we see it before in the movies and stuff, and everywhere else we've seen this house. It's not in bad condition. Is it that this family lived there? And I don't know. I would like to see if, the mom did have this color on too. The mom had that color on.
Yeah, I feel like it's if it's not that family, I feel like I'm gonna be surprised because it's like you said, it looks like exactly like them. The boy's a little younger. It appears like the mom might be suggesting that she's pregnant.
Yeah, the hand on the stomach, and then you have there's a highlight right here. It gets light pink right here, meaning that something is coming out, touching the light. That's obvious because they definitely did the shadow work under the arm. The This is the color of the dress, and then there's a lighter part right here, which means that it's coming out touching the light. The light's coming from this direction. So yeah, that's a baby bump right there. So there's your family right there. There's your family from the thing. And so is there a backstory with this house? Will we see something about the family gone missing? I don't know. That shit, I don't know. Another mystery is where the fuck is the arm at that she had? You know what I'm saying? Where's the arm at? She had the arm when she was standing there with Ronnie. So where's it at? Did she throw it away? Like, you there, Food Pyramid?
Oh, I'm there. I'm just like, I don't know where the hand could have gone, because they end the scene there, and then next day they wake up, right? So they don't show us how it ends. So I'm not sure. And they said they didn't find any body parts. I remember like the police mentioning that. So
they said that there's no body parts. It's just a lot of blood everywhere. Yo, I didn't even notice this part right here with all the kids flying around right there on fire. That's crazy. I noticed. I saw this one, but that's a crazy shot. This little girl, they got blood all over them. So somebody blew up in front of them. Something exploded in front of them. I don't know. There's blood everywhere. But this shot right here is crazy. I didn't notice that it was like kids on fire and all that.
Dude, I wish I had some of these close-ups of the way you have access to these shots, because it's like I'd be staring at each shot for like an hour each time.
Yo, look at this one. This kid is like burnt all up. He's like burnt. Half of him is gone, and he's fine. Kind of making like swastika legs a little bit.
The old snake leg.
You know what I'm saying? You got the Easter bunnies on fire. This is top tier right here. Like, this is a good ass intro. And then the song that they use. And then the song, yo.
One thing I'm loving though about this series is how much it's making me realize like how much of Stephen King's work I've loved watching through the years, and how I actually need to start reading his stuff, or at least listening to the audiobook. So that's on my like future plans right now. I got at least some of them checked out. So
yo, we got Big Heck in the building. Who else we got? We got Lucky Rainbow in the building. Ty Briggs. We got Irene in the building. Good to see you. And the boy, yes, let's look at him again. The boy did appear to be looking at something, and he appears to know about it in the window. Okay, this is something else I noticed. This little boy was looking at something too. This little boy that was sitting down with this family. I think this is just like a random family.
yeah.
But this family is not random here. No, that's Wingstop's people.
I mean, he has to kill you first before he could use your image, right? That's basically what we've seen throughout all the movies and stuff.
Or you've got to already be dead. I don't know. That's very interesting.
I think you typically do, because like how he always has the bodies floating down there. So I'm assuming the family's down there. They're hanging out.
I don't know about that. Does he have to? Because like he doesn't have the mom. Ronnie's mom isn't down there with him.
Oh wait, there's that scene. There's also that scene in the newer It movies where it's that one kid's mom who's afraid of everything.
Okay,
I forgot, and she's not dead yet.
She's not dead yet.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, because he used her inside of that pharmacy. he had her down there in the pharmacy.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
that makeout scene. Oh my god.
Oh, that was crazy. That's what I thought they was about to do with that's what they did with old girl in the grocery store.
Oh yeah, the pickles, dude. That was
That was crazy. That right there. Where are those shots? That's a crazy scene. And there's a lot of the Jewish references in here. You know what I'm saying? Like, pickles are a kosher item. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Real heavy. Like, this is crazy. This right here. Come on, man. The boy appears to be looking at something. Yeah, he was definitely looking at something over there. This scene was phenomenal, though. This scene was crazy. And this scene also took me right back to the trailer. I mean, the intro sequence. The intro sequence had, where is it at? Right here. Right here, you can see it as a octopus or a squid or something.
One of his like many kind of forms, right?
Yeah. Like, because he didn't come as a like he came. Okay, yeah, he had tentacles. This thing had tentacles. Yo, they went nuts with this. A chopped up foot, homie. A chopped foot.
It's like
they're showing the severity of how his father really got cut up.
He was literally mangled to such a degree. Yeah.
And I'm sure they ran in there, I wonder what she did to get put in Juniper Hill. Like, what happened? What took her there the first time? This was crazy. Here it is, the make out. They try to go with that. Like on, like, homie's mom, the medicine mom.
Right.
Pops wasn't kosher. Pickle Pops. Nah, that's Pickle Rick. That's Pickle Rick. From now on, this is Pickle Rick right here.
Something I found interesting with this scene too, though, was as the boxes are showing the dead kids or whatever and degrading, is why wasn't the one, what's up with that? Like, he didn't really turn into a dead version of himself.
That's a good question. You're talking about this.
I'm like, is he going to show back up? Because the kid, I watched his little interview at the end of that episode when he's like, "Oh, I died or I got what I wanted," and like that seems like he was trying to throw us off the trail with like a little bit of a red herring.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
So I'm thinking he might be still alive, possibly.
Because she deteriorated. She deteriorated, and neither Maddie didn't deteriorate either. But she did, and Phil, Teddy did. But Phil, Pennywise's cornflakes, my dude. Like, did you notice how, like, all of the body parts were in the jars and, like,
spread amongst them, like a finger here and stuff, and
like that. When this hand came out, I said, "Yo, they OD, and no, they wild. This is crazy." But this was nightmarish, man. This was Nightmare on Elm Street type shit, man.
It made me think about the comic book that the kid drew too, because he's like a tentacle monster in that, right? So like the alien on that comic book cover or whatever. And then you talked about the kid And then you just showed the one of the from the intro with the tentacles in the sewer. So a
Yeah,
lot of tentacles.
a lot of tentacle monsters going on. Ty Briggs says he's not dead. Debbie said that's what she asked. Yeah, like why didn't all of them? Let's like, what's up with that? Ty Briggs said the lampshade still creeped me out the most. The lampshade was crazy. That shit that shit had me rolling though. It was hilarious to me. Like it was a little bit of a jump scare, but it definitely made me laugh.
It's like funny because you know it's coming, but then it's like shit.
Yeah, it was. I knew something was gonna happen, but what it was like, yo, they wildin', yo.
No, speaking of like lights, I want to point out I've noticed so far is at their dinner tables they all have 3 lights hanging above. So
Yeah, I know they all have the 3 lights at the dinner table.
like homie just be listening in.
Yeah, the dead lights right above the table right there. They have everybody had that. They had that at the Jewish home too. But yo, check this out. We're gonna go ahead and end the joint. This was dope. I'm gonna play that record for y'all again. Let me see here. And we gonna ride out. I appreciate you for stopping by, Food Pyramid.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Always a pleasure. You know what I mean? But we're gonna rock out to this on the way out. This is me right here.
Yo. Fuck your designer shirt, my mind is squirt. Some rhyme work that'll make your sinus hurt. Buckle your seat while the pilot work. My spacecraft got enough gas that'll take you out of this earth. I'm magic with the pen and paper like a warlock. The window panes wide open, but the door's locked. So you looking through the window for it in your window, but do they really have the skill to analyze the symbol? Crescendo, the ashes blow when the wind blow. The rain put out the fire while the children build a temple. Just like the pyramids, walls and scribble, a projection in the sky of the messiahs on your mental. Monumental and extraterrestrial, turning these niggas into mental vegetables. It's kinda crazy how I ride on instrumentals as I slice like a Ginsu with the vibe I put in. You listen. This is not a double life. It's just a new beginning. The magic is to focus on our goals till we're winning. I'd rather have a portrait of myself up on the ceiling. I could lay down on the floor, look up and visualize the millions. Imagine that. Do you see the picture clearly? Focusing on working with me. You could get this money with me. We could take over the world and put the trophies in the city, the plaques on the wall, and have a feast of who was with me. Yeah, last week was just the past, right? A new beginning. I've been up for all these past nights, and all these people that I knew just seem to pass by. They stuck on stupid worry about their past lives, and I just ask why. Are they agents? Is the system about to crash? Am I the one like in the Matrix? Is the planets in the heavens? Then the earth is just a spaceship. Our thoughts control reality, and life is what you make it.
Thank you everybody for coming through. Appreciate y'all much. We'll definitely be rocking next time, on schedule this time, because the show won't throw us no curveballs. We will be live and direct 7 o'clock for the show. We'll rock about maybe an hour and a half, maybe an hour 45 minutes before the show. Have the nice live stream, cook up. We'll talk about a video that I'm going to be dropping that night as well. I'll drop my esoteric breakdown that evening, right after the show. And then we'll meet here for the after show, because this is an episode 3 It's something that we definitely gonna have to talk about, y'all. I'm gonna tell you right now. I've seen the episode. It's crazy. Episode 3 is definitely one to talk about. The symbolism continues. Peace.